Hey guys, the Firebird here. It's just me. Happy late Christmas. Yes, I said I was gonna do a Christmas live stream or a video or something, and I never did. And that's because I usually don't do holiday videos, just because I'm usually doing other stuff during the holidays, and I don't think my channel is like big enough to do holiday videos. Maybe I'll start doing that from now on, but no promises. You guys know how I am with that. But yeah, I've been hanging out with the family. I got some gifts, and I've been playing a lot of Code Vein again. But recently I watched Laszlo Ben's video where he, talked about the possible scale for the CGI look of Megatron, which is gonna be released sometime next year, supposedly. Now, this is not like the official design. It's inspired by the design they were planned to use in the movie itself. So it's basically the CGI look of how Megatron was supposed to look like. But at the same time, this is not officially released by Hasbro. We don't know if, Hasbro's gonna use these designs for the next movie and the whole reboot, thing that started with Bumblebee. Now, in some of the pictures they released, they still haven't revealed it. They revealed the silhouette, and this is how the silhouette looks like. And yeah, here's he in comparison with Optimus Prime and Ratchet, and he's a tall boy. Let me tell you that. A lot of people have asked me to talk about the Transformers, reboot scale chart, because there's been a lot of concerns and complaints about how some of the new, Transformer designs scale up with the movie ones. Now, I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be the official scalings, the official, height of these characters. And here we have, look, Starscream, Soundwave, and Shockwave. In comparison to their movie counterparts, they are... Well, I guess Soundwave's an improvement, but Shockwave and Soundwave is kind of a downgrade. And this doesn't really stop with the Decepticons. The Autobots also have this problem. Optimus Prime is basically half his size he used to be in Revenge of the Fallen. Bumblebee, I guess Bumblebee's not that bad. Ironhide is also pretty small, Ratchet's pretty small, Wheeljack's pretty small, RC is alright actually. I have no problems with RC. But yeah, the scaling is a bit messed up. Now, in the Bumblebee movie, we only had 3 characters on Earth, and those 3 characters interacted with humans. Those being Bumblebee, Shatter, and Dropkick, and I guess Blitzwing too. Because of the time period, I guess it made sense for those characters to be as big as they were. But at the same time, it looks like they have gone back and reduced the scale of the Transformers characters. In the Bay universe, they used to be really big, and now they seem to be shrunk down to have a more consistent body type, a more consistent height. And I'm not too upset with that. For the characters that appear on Cybertron, like Wheeljack, Ratchet, RC, and everyone else, you could easily say that, oh, they're on Cybertron, there's nothing to scale them with. Once they get on Earth, they're gonna be bigger or something. But if this is the official height they're gonna be using for the next Transformers movies, that's gonna feel a little weird, because we're all used to Optimus Prime being tall, Ratchet, Wheeljack, and Ironhide being tall, and for them to be scaled down this much, it's going to feel especially weird with Starscream and Shockwave. But a way they can, mitigate this and fix it is just by introducing the concept of mass shifting. In case you guys don't know, mass shifting is basically the excuse that Transformers writers came up with during the days of G1 to explain why giant Transformers can turn into such little objects, i.e. Megatron turning into a gun. Now, allegedly, the next Transformers movie is gonna take place at some point during the 90s. If that's the case, then I guess most of these characters, they're gonna remain the height they are, because I'm pretty sure cars and jets during the 80s were a lot smaller than the ones we have now. That's actually one of the main reasons why Blitzwing, turned into the 80s jet that Starscream was supposed to be in the first place. Because that jet was, a little smaller than the F-22 Raptor that he transforms in Revenge of the Fallen and so on. So something they could do is that they could do the, old excuse of saying, oh, Starscream scans a jet and the jet's giant, so his parts are stretching out to, give the illusion that he has so much mass. But when he transforms back, he transforms into his actual size. They could always do that, and they could always do that excuse of the Autobots. Optimus Prime transforms into a truck, and he's supposed to be one of the tallest Autobots. So, once he goes from truck to robot, he turns a little taller than he actually should be. That's an excuse they could always use. And honestly, the scaling chart for the Bumblebee movie, at least, it doesn't bother me. I think that Bumblebee, Shatter, and Dropkick were scaled pretty well. I think their scaling works, But if we can introduce like larger characters, like let's say Ironhide, Ratchet, Optimus, and maybe Soundwave, I don't know. We still don't know what Sound is gonna transform into, but if you're gonna introduce those kinds of characters, then you're gonna have to introduce mass shifting, because it's gonna feel really weird them being that small. But it's not gonna feel as weird as Megatron over here. Megatron is huge compared to Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime barely makes it to his chest. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know if this is just like an error by the part of Jolo Park, or if this was like the intentional scale for Megatron during the Bumblebee movie. Like, is this what Travis Knight had in mind? Honestly, I don't know. It could be, you know, we're gonna have to wait until they release the figure to like actually say if, you know, that Megatron is gonna be huge in comparison to most Autobots and Decepticons. I think it makes sense that Megatron is this tall because he's supposed to be the main bad guy of the series, and the Bay movies kinda did a good job, you know, reducing his, you know, threat factor, because after, let's say, Revenge of the Fallen, he kinda became a joke and didn't really do that much. So I can understand why, you know, making him be that tall, making him look threatening in comparison to the other Autobots and Decepticons makes sense. Hell, the main reason why Bumblebee was made so small in the B movie is so that the other Decepticons will look taller in comparison. Like when Bumblebee fought against Blitzwing, he was fighting against an opponent that was larger than him, an opponent that was, you know, by default tougher and stronger than him, same with, you know, Shatter and Dropkick. Even though the height difference wasn't as exaggerated for the two of them, their danger mostly came from the fact that there were 2 against 1. Since Megatron's the big bad over here, it actually kinda makes sense that you will want to have him as, you know, tall as possible. But that also kinda messes with the whole, you know, goal of the reboot, you know, paying homage and tribute to G1, because in G1, Optimus Prime and Megatron were around the same size. So having them be, you know, like this in terms of scaling, separated by height, it feels odd. In Transformers Animated, I guess Megatron was a little taller than Optimus. In Prime, they were around the same size, and I think that in the new, you know, Cyberverse cartoon, they're also around the same size. So it feels really weird having Megatron be this tall. I don't think that should be the case. They should either make Optimus Prime a little bigger, like make Optimus Prime at best reach Megatron's neck. I think that's like the ideal height. Like this, it feels weird, it feels off. But let's pretend for a second that this is the scaling chart that they're gonna use for the next Transformers reboot movies. Will this affect, you know, the way we see the Transformers, or like the way the actions played out, or like the way characters look? I would say yes. I think that right now, the way they're, you know, handling this in the terms of the reboot and, you know, the way they scale these characters is that they're actually making them fit their vehicle modes. Like Bumblebee over here, his vehicle mode's pretty small, so obviously he's gonna be pretty small. Ratchet and Ironhide over here are not that small. They transform into heavier cars, but overall they're not that much bigger than the Volkswagen, so it makes sense that, you know, in comparison to Bumblebee, they're not as tall. Optimus Prime, I think they just pulled the mass shifting, because he's Optimus Prime, he needs to be taller than the rest. And for the Seekers and Blitzwing, their vehicle modes, you know, their size is a direct result of their vehicle modes. Like, the jets in the 80s were not as big as the, you know, giant F-22 Raptors that the US military uses nowadays. So it kinda makes sense for Blitzwing to not be as tall as Starscream, and why he's able to transform into, you know, a relatively smaller robot mode. And I think that's also one of the main reasons why, according to the rumor, if the rumor's true, if it's true, that they're making a movie in the 90s, because, you know, they can keep the cast relatively small, not have to worry about scaling, but my problem is that how is this gonna play out once, you know, we go from the 90s to the modern era, where we have, you know, big tanks, big jets, slightly bigger cars, trucks, and so on. Like, is the cast gonna grow too? Are we gonna go the route of Michael Bay and have Starscream be like 33 feet tall? Or are they gonna use the excuse of mass shifting, like Starscream transforms into a big jet, but when he transforms into a robot, he basically goes from 33 inches to like half of that? That's probably my biggest concern with all this. In the Bumblebee movie, I think they did a good job, because we only saw 3 Decepticons on Earth and 2 Autobots. Well, with the exception of Optimus Prime, who was, you know, noticeably smaller in the B movie. I think they did a pretty good job with the characters they introduced. But what happens when you introduce Megatron here, or Starscream or the Seekers, characters that are supposed to have, you know, really large vehicle modes. But I think the main question here is that gonna bother you? Because a lot of people have been complaining about the scaling for these characters. Most of them fit the G1 scaling, like most of them fit pretty well. In the G1 cartoon, most characters were relatively the same height. But then again, that's not entirely a good thing, because in the G1 cartoon, consistency when it came to height was probably one of the most inconsistent aspects of G1. Remember when Ultra Magnus transformed into a truck to a robot mode, and at one point he was holding two Constructicons in his hands like they were toys? Remember that? Yeah, that's one of the aspects I don't like about G1, and I really hope that Hasbro and Paramount, you know, approach this topic really carefully. Like, they need to have a plan with this. As for Megatron, it's a bit too early to tell if that's gonna be his actual size. If it is, I'm gonna be kinda disappointed, because I feel he should be smaller or Optimus Prime should be taller. It's either or. But then again, we saw most of these characters on Cybertron, so once they arrive on Earth, you could say, oh, the official scaling is different. Like for Cybertronians, like this is like, you know, the way they, you know, measure stuff. But on Earth, they're a little taller than that. Because most of these characters, well, if you put them right next to a human, they're actually not that, you know, they're actually not that much taller than a human. RC and Bumblebee especially. But hey, that's G1 for you. But anyways guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Shout out goes to our patrons: Morais Prime, iPulse Fate, Mario Gordon, Predator King Hunter Plays, and the absolute mad lad himself, Jordan the Great, who donated $100. Thanks a lot for donating, guys, it's much appreciated. Shout out goes to their channels, links in the description down below and in the comments down below. Make sure to go check them out, they need all the help they can get. And if you guys want to shout out your subs, all you have to do is donate. By donating to my Patreon, you get access to some of my videos early, you can request your own videos, do a collab with me. Ask me to cover a variety of different topics that are Transformers related, or they could also be non-Transformers related. It's up to you, and you get plenty of freedom to choose. But yeah, shout out to my patrons, thank you guys for donating, it's really appreciated. And if you guys want to donate, you already know what to do. Just keep in mind that this is completely optional, I'm not forcing you to do so, and I don't want you to feel pressure to do so. If you want to support me, go and do so, and if you don't want to, just watch my videos. It's simple as that. But thank you for all your support, guys. But anyways guys, that's it for this video. I just wanted to like make a small rant / discussion kind of thing. I don't even know what this video is. I just gave you my thoughts and explained the problem. What do you think is the best way to solve this? Should they introduce mass shifting into the whole thing? Should they make the characters taller than they actually are? They can always go back and say, oh yeah, in Bumblebee we made a mistake. We said that these characters are actually kind of small, but now when they're on Earth, they're actually a little taller. They could always do that. They could do that to fix things. They can make the small Ironhide be as tall as movie Ironhide, or at least, you know, slightly smaller. Like, we don't need to get the exact same scale, because I'm pretty sure no one really wants Soundwave to be a midget or Starscream to be as tall as he is supposed to be in the actual Bay movies. But yeah, I feel like the whole, you know, scaling, the size issues is something that's definitely gonna change with the reboot, and you know, it's gonna take a while to get used to, definitely, especially Optimus Prime being that small. And even more so with Megatron, if, you know, they actually make him as tall as the image is implying he's gonna be. Which, it kind of implies that they are gonna make Megatron that tall. And if that's the case, then that's gonna be awkward, and that's gonna feel really weird. Even in the first movie, Megatron wasn't that much, you know, taller than Optimus Prime. Like, sure, Megatron was a little taller than Optimus, but they were both relatively around the same size, so to go for a change this extreme is definitely gonna feel weird. But yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think about them in the comments down below. Are you guys happy with the Bumblebee movie scaling chart? Do you guys prefer the Michael Bay one? Do you think that they're gonna introduce mass shifting? I definitely think they're gonna have to. I think it's a must, it's a necessity to introduce mass shifting. Right now, they're playing it safe by staying in the 80s, where the jets, tanks, and cars are a little smaller. But once we start progressing from the 80s to the modern era, and we start seeing larger, you know, cars, jets and stuff, they're gonna have to like introduce mass shifting to, you know, make sure that Starscream is not, you know, 40 feet tall because of his large jet mode. And same thing goes for other characters who, you know, have pretty large robot modes, but their, you know, vehicle modes are kinda small. Who knows? We may even see Refractor make an appearance, and that'll be funny. A nice callback to G1 actually. But yeah, let me know all about it in the comments down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys, and remember, G1 scaling is perfect.